the only way. You know.
I try.
Hi, Michael.
Whoopi, hi.
Hi. I'm sitting here with Michael Douglas. I know he doesn't need an introduction, but I have to tell you this stuff anyway. Basic Instinct, Romancing the Stone, Streets of San Francisco, which I want to talk about. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, producer. Made in America, not out yet, producer. Is there anything you're not doing? You know, because you got the record company, you got like everything.
Got a little record company going now we're happy about, too. I like my work. You know, I've been lucky. I like my work. You pick projects that you like, that you can stay involved with. I sort of think about it like a love affair, you know. It's like you got to fall in love with a girl, you know, she's on your mind all the time, and you wake up at night and you can't think about her and that's how it is with film projects and other things. But Made in America, Whoopi's not saying anything. She's in the picture, and with Ted Danson and Will Smith.
Right.
And
Nia
Long, and it's turned out you're going to be real happy. I'm real pleased you took the leap of faith.
Well, was I like that girl that you dream about, like in contract-wise? When you read my contract, did you think about me all day and all night?
All day, all night. I dreamt about. Also, nobody quite knows. She's always sitting there. She's got great legs. It's a well-kept secret.
Yes,
but
and
the
I
Whoop's
keep
got
them
some great.
these
I know.
days.
Crossed is the word, honey. You keep them crossed. Is
That's
the
right.
word.
We're on television. I forgot. We'll be right back. Yes, honey. Mm-hmm. Pull my shirt down and shit.
That's nice too. About the joy of working together. You can see it. There's joy written all over your face.
It was. I have to ask you a question that has been burning in my brain for many years, Michael, since I've known you, and beforehand. Was it a hard thing to look like an icon? Because you and your dad look, to me, exactly alike. But I can't imagine growing up looking like an icon. Because, I mean, you think of Hollywood and you think of Kirk Douglas and you think of those movies, you know, that he's made.
Well, you know, it's a unique thing about our business because it's not unusual for plumbers and sons or carpenters and sons to follow into the same trade or craft. But unique about acting is you have to have your own sense of identity of who you are. And I know when I first started working, you know, early on, you had the one yoke, which was, God, am I ever going to be the man this guy is, you know? Follow me, you know? You know, Spartacus and the man, you're watching the movie Lust for Life, the ear is cut off. We were kids. I remember running out of the theater screaming. It was so believable. And so you have your genes of your mother and your father. So in the early part, I used to censor myself, I know, as an actor, because anything that sort of reminded you of your father, you know, either in real life or in acting, you sort of try to censor. So you sort of play these sensitive young men roles. And obviously, you're always up to comparison, and he had a very strong image. So I think it takes most sons of or daughters of longer to find what their own identity is and who they are. But the big advantage is you get to know about the biz. You know, you grow up and you see your father and other stars, Tony Curtis, Janet Leigh, Burt Lancaster, and you come into the house, you see them with their own insecurities and their foibles. So you learn to deal with your failures as well as your successes, and you see what the insecurities are, and I think that's made it a little easier for me to be stable once things got going.
Because when I first knew of you, I knew of you as M.K. Douglas.
Oh, right, back from New York and CBS Playhouse.
Yes.
Well, Mike Douglas had that talk show.
Right.
Right? So I couldn't use Michael or Mike at that particular time. So it was M.K. Douglas is all I could come up with.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it worked out pretty cool. If, you know, if you wanted to go around and be called Mook all the time, you know.
You do that one more time? What was it?
Mook.
So, what, you went from New York, and where did you go between then and Streets?
I started out doing summer theater from college. I was in a drama major in college, and then I was in a summer theater back east doing new plays. And one summer, there was a long-haired little guy from the American Academy named Danny DeVito, and it was 1964. And then Danny and I became friends, and then we became roommates in New York, and I started doing off-Broadway theater and stuff like that. And then they used to do these CBS playhouses, and that's what's called M.K. Douglas, a show called The Experiment, and it turned out well, and that's what brought me out to California. Did about 3 movies that went in the toilette, and then I started doing the Streets of San Francisco. And my father wasn't sure whether that was the right move for a movie actor to go into television, but for me, it gave me the chance ultimately to do 104 hours of television, knowing they could never take the hook and pull you off, no matter how it was going. And then I was blessed to have my mentor, and I mean that in the best sense of the words, and I wish upon anybody in any career to recognize when there is a mentor in their life, and that was Carl Malden.
Yeah, he's a wonderful, cool guy.
He's cool. I didn't think it was going to last long. I remember the first day on Streets of San Francisco we ever had, we were sort of checking each other out, and he was the old pro, and I was terrified. And the light was running out. We were at the top of Nob Hill in San Francisco. And they said, all right, the light's running, okay, you guys got to get in the car really fast. Once you go around the corner, Carl, you slam the red light on the thing, you go past the Fairmont Hotel and down this hill, okay? I said, okay, fine. So I didn't bother to kind of check it out, right? So anyways, okay, let's go, action, bing. I took that car, he slammed it on, I went around the corner, went past the Fairmont, I hit that hill. All I know is I had enough time in midair to look over at Carl, right? And Carl looked at me before... Finally, the car, thank God, the wheels are straight, the car is stopped. Carl looks at me and says, that's not driving, that's not driving, oh, that's theatrical, that's not driving. I said, you think that's driving? I go, oh, baby, it's all over now. There's a beat, and he says, I'm going back to my trailer and change my underwear. So, he was cool. He always forgave me after that.
The producing end of it started also sort of early around that time, when you...
Well, the producing really came out of the fact that I wasn't getting any work as an actor. And after those first 2 or 3 movies, it didn't work. And before Streets of San Francisco, my father had acquired this book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was like required reading when I was in college, and everybody loved it. And he had gone back to Broadway in 1963 to do it on Broadway, and it didn't really work out. I think it was ahead of its time. So he couldn't get it going as a feature film. Meanwhile, I started my career. There was a lull, as we should say, and he was trying to sell the property. And I had no interest in producing. I never even thought about producing, but I loved this book, and it's something that's always stuck with me about the love of a piece of material. So I said, look, let me run with it, you know, and try to get it set up, and hopefully reimburse you and get you some of the money back you got into it. And he also, of course, wanted to play the part. So what happened is I actually started trying to put Cuckoo's Nest together before Streets of San Francisco started. But it took 6 years because nobody wanted to make it. You know, nobody wanted to make a picture. They said, like, you know, like Snake Pit. We don't want to make another Snake Pit. Later I found out Snake Pit was quite profitable, but at the time, you know, I didn't know that. And finally, after the 4th year of the series, I got together with my partner, Saul Zantz, up at Fantasy Records in Berkeley, and we were able to put the picture together with Milos Forman. And I left the series. They let me out of my contract for the 5th year. Everybody thought I was crazy to make this picture. But then, of course, I had to deal with probably the biggest dilemma in my life.
How to tell Pop.
How to tell Dad that in the years since 1963, and now this is 74, that Milos Forman, the director as well as the producers, felt that somebody younger should be playing that part. And that's how Jack Nicholson came into the equation. And the rest was history. It was a magical experience, which you all dream about. We got the 5 Academy Awards. I know Dad in his autobiography has always written that that was the biggest disappointment in his life, in a large part because, as you know, there are not many good parts around.
No.
Not many good parts, and so you always hate the chance that you're going to lose a part. But in hindsight, I mean, he really appreciates the movie, and I just think he's grateful that it turned out as well as it did, and he made as much money as he did.
We'll be right back. I didn't know he wanted to play that. Because you never want to say something dumb, but I get big-eyed around him. I want to ask you something, because I've seen a lot of the movies that you've done, China Syndrome, but these last few with Wall Street and Fatal Attraction, and I'm talking, I guess, outside of sort of the comedies, more the sort of dramas and the Basic Instincts. Have you decided you're not going to be this, like, really nice man, that you're going to be this man who attracts these insane women who just bare every piece of their body to you?
It's not a bad gig, You got to have one. Well, yeah, I mean, you come to realize that villains have done more for most actors' careers than any type of roles. I look back, my father with The Champion and Bad and the Beautiful, and Paul Newman with Cool Hand Luke, and villain roles are fun. It's sort of a license to be bad. I think the irony is that actresses who are complaining all the time about the lack of good roles, I think sometimes they get caught between the politics of being a woman in this age and a good role, because even going back to Cuckoo's Nest, 5 actresses turned down Nurse Ratched because she was a villain.
Did I get that script?
No, it was just a small, young little girl.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, I guess, after doing those sort of softer, nice guy roles, it was just a nice change to play, some things a little darker.
Yeah.
And also, I couldn't find a lot of social redeeming projects anymore. It wasn't like Nuclear Power with the China Syndrome. So, I mean, Wall Street certainly was a question about economy, but then I started getting interested in all these battle of the sexes and that kind of interrelationships.
What about all the sex now, honey? Because I do enjoy seeing you in as little as possible. I'm not gonna lie. It's the truth, Michael. When you're up on that big screen, I mean, all kinds of things go through the mind. But how easy, I don't think people realize how hard it actually is. I just learned this. To do.
You might pick another word for it. How difficult it is, what you're trying to say.
That's right.
That's what you're trying to say.
How difficult. Because I'm sure occasionally it is hard, but how difficult
I hear you.
These roles and these scenes can be.
Yeah. It beats talking. I mean, I don't know. I kind of look at it, as really as sort of a physical release, because the truth of the matter is, as we sit here with cameras and all of that, it's not the most natural situation, no matter how comfortable, and you do make it comfortable, Whoopi. It could be. So I like doing action scenes. I like doing fight scenes, and I enjoy the physicality of lovemaking scenes. But all that said and done, yeah, sure, there's initially an awkward moment between, you know, two people one day. Take Basic Instinct, for example, where you know you've talked it through before and what you want to have to try to accomplish, and you got to come down there and drop it. But what happens is, I mean, for instance, the so-called, you know, match of the century, for lack of a better word, in Basic Instinct with Sharon, that 4 minutes of film is like 5 or 6 days.
Right.
So you start, you know, and it's a 14-hour day, and I'm here to tell you, we're talking about performing, you know, or talking about illusions, you know, to try to create that over 5 or 6 days, you go home tired.
I guess so.
The hardest thing about about sex
Don't be
in
looking
films,
at your socks, honey.
I'm just looking. I'm just looking at my
face
face
now.
No, I'm saying the hardest thing about, I think, about sex in films is you got an entire audience that's a judge. I mean, it's not as if, you know, fight sequences or shooting, it's not as if the whole audience out there has been in a death-defying situation. But, you know, 99.9 out there have done the deed, and everybody's a judge.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's got their feelings. So it's hard to create the illusion sometimes and the heat because everybody can judge.
Yeah. How many people were in this elevator scene with you in Fatal Attraction?
Well, that's the elevator scene.
Is a...
Well, I always thought that Adrian Lyne and Glenn Close had some kind of deal going on because the camera was right about there, you know. It was on me, and Glenn drops down, right? And we're doing the shots on me, the reaction of me and all this and what's going on. And all of a sudden I hear cut from the director, and the director's, he's sitting over here. You know, director's usually over behind the camera, you know? Right. Oh. But he's got his eye on the actress, sort of just watching what was going on. But we did that a few times, yeah, till we can get it right.
I bet. It's an interesting story how you cast that. It's one of my favorites because it sort of will take me to Made in America, which I want to talk to you about as well. But Glenn was not the first actress you guys went to.
Well, the director, Adrian Lyne, who also did 9.5 Weeks, is renowned for, if he could, cast or attempt to cast or audition every actress in town.
Again, did I get these scripts?
Well, you know, you were doing your stand-up routine. You know, I mean, I saw that. God, I have no doubt about that, and I'm here to say that.
We'll be right back.
Behind the story America believes.
You saved 54 people.
I love you, John Bubber.
Is the truth nobody knows.
Oh, he's a fake.
That John Bubber is a fraud. And Bernie LaPlante.
You can't believe one word you see on TV.
Is really the hero.
Are you Bernard LaPlante?
Mom, it's my father.
Dustin Hoffman, Gina Davis, Andy Garcia in a comedy for our times. Hero, directed by Stephen Frears. Rated PG-13. At theaters October 2nd.
Professional. I know what it means, and I know what it takes. It's not only being your best, but looking your best. Matrix Essentials. Now that's professional. My stylist, these products. Because let's face it, the only way to get a professional salon look is in a salon. Matrix Hair Care, hair color, perms, skin care, and cosmetics. Matrix Essentials. The professional's choice for beauty. Only in fine salons.
George Foreman and his sons George on the taste of new Doritos now with more natural cheese flavor. George Foreman the 5th. George the 4th.
Crunchy.
George the 3rd.
Cheesier.
George Jr.
It's a mucho macho nacho.
And the original George.
What? I was wrong. I was wrong.
Conclusive proof, 4 out of 5 George Foremans prefer the taste of new Doritos tortilla chips with more natural cheese flavor.
Who taught you kids how to eat like this?
You, Dad.
These are 10 warning signs of depression. sleeping too much, loss of appetite, isolation, loss of concentration, lack of energy, uncontrollable crying, feelings of guilt, irritability, hopelessness, suicidal thoughts. Don't check them all off before you get help. Charter is here 24 hours a day, every day. If you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
If you think Pepperidge Farm cookies are too fancy for the cookie jar, think about this. Now there's new Family Request cookies. The first cookies from Pepperidge Farm made especially for everyday family enjoyment. We baked all the homemade goodness of Pepperidge Farm into family favorites like chocolate chip and put them in big bags priced for everyday eating. With new Family Request cookies, you can treat your family to Pepperidge Farm cookies every day if they don't treat themselves first.
Television is comfortable, well-made basic sweats and t-shirts. Tultex, a new way of looking at clothes. What makes Finlandia America's #1 imported Swiss? Finland, with purer water, crisper air, fresher milk, producing cheese aged over 100 days. Armatron A-Watch, the bright, bold fashion statement for your wrist. Always new, always exciting, and so affordable, you can build an entire watch wardrobe. Armatron A-Watch, the intelligent choice.
Well, Michael, so what's coming up? What's going on?
I'm on a break, Whoopi. I'm on a big sabbatical. I'm way overdue for my family's been real patient. DeAndre, my son, I'm gonna take the year off. I'm gonna finish up Made in America, you know, doing all the finishing touches with Richard Benjamin's the director. And then I did a picture called Falling Down, which is gonna come out, but they're in the can. And this is gonna be a year for me and my family and my golf game.
Your golf game?
Yeah.
Honey, I would offer to be your caddy, but you know it's like watermelon.
Anytime, as long as you wear shorts.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.